Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Road Empire. Today we're going to be working on the control panel. We're going to be hooking up both DC controllers and hopefully both of the switches so we can have both loops DC or DCC. So I hope you enjoy. So guys, we have got our controllers in place about where we want them, just one behind the other. So I went ahead and I drilled one hole here to feed these wires through, which these wires will be going to our track. And what I did here was my red wire broke for this remote, this DC remote, and I didn't want to have to go and buy a new red wire. So I just soldered the wires in the remote where the wet red wire would attach. So it works perfectly fine. So we're gonna feed these down through here. Grab our other one. This one's got a little bit of as you guys can see here, the actual wire is here, but then the insulation is separate. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off. Just take some wire cutters. There we go. Now with that insulation removed, we can hopefully fit it through the hole. And look at that. There we go. Both wires through the hole. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a bigger sized drill right here. This is a paddle bit because that's the only size one that I have for the size hole that I need. So now we're going to drill one for our power supply. So in terms of power supply, I have one right here. So let's get this out. Alright, so just another simple Bachmann one that we'll be using to make sure it's not damaged. Yeah, it looks to be good. So we will drill a hole for the power supply cable right here. And there you go. That was a little rough, and I'm sure the camera shook a little bit. But there we go. The hole is drilled. So now we're just going to brush all of this off. And we're going to take some sandpaper, and we're going to sand around the hole, and we're going to make it all nice and smooth how we like it. So let me go ahead and find my sandpaper here. Not 100% sure where it went because I was just using it yesterday here. Alright, I found my sandpaper. So now I'm going to go ahead and just sand a little bit over the top of the hole. Just kind of around the top. So I'll move the camera a little bit closer here. There we go. So I'm just going to be sanding around the top of this hole. Alright. Now with that nice and smooth, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our power supply cable from the power supply that we just dug out of the box. And we're going to feed that through. Perfect. And look at that. We've got both of the DC controllers all hooked up and in place on the control panel. I'd say that looks pretty good. And we've also, of course, got the DCC here plugged into the panel that is right there, just mounted in the 2x4. Yeah, that was kind of difficult to drill out the 2x4 to get the panel in, but nevertheless, I did it, and it's all good. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be doing now is drilling out a hole to mount toggle switches. Now, I've never drilled out any holes. I've never mounted toggle switches or any of that before. So this will be a first for me, but I think I have a basic idea of where I want it. I think I want one here, about next to that controller, that I'll flip up to make it DCC, middle to shut the power off for the loop, or down to make the track DC. So I think I just want to set it right next to this remote, and then I'll set the other one, right next to that remote. So looks like we're gonna need about a 1/2-inch drill bit. That's exactly what I have. So it looks like that's exactly what we're gonna need for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and find a pen here and mark exactly where I want this to sit at. So probably about right there. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of drill, or mark just the top of it here. Of course this pen is not working. Oh, there we go. So I want the top about right there. Alright, so if the switch sits there, perfect. So now we know that we want the top there. I think we're just going to go ahead and drill a hole there. I mean, we've got one shot at it to not mess this up. And I mean, even if I do mess it up, I've got plaster Paris and I can fill it in and sand it down and everything. But it'd be a hassle. So we pretty much only have one shot. I'm just going to move the camera here so it doesn't get shook everywhere. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and drill the hole. So let's do it. The hole has been drilled. I'll go ahead and move you guys right back over here. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to take our sandpaper, actually. The top seems to be pretty smooth. That was actually a good hole. One extra little sanding there. And we're going to go ahead and also just kind of take off what's left on the inside of it. Ideally, you would use a file for this, but I don't have one on me at the moment. Alright, well, there we go. Now we're going to try and put our toggle switch up in here. Looks like it does fit in the hole, but it looks like the hole needs some more sanding from the bottom. There we go. Now with it sanded flat on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and push our toggle switch here up through the hole. And look at that. Lo and behold, comes out perfectly. So I'm going to take our nut and screw it on. I'll go grab some pliers to make this a little bit tighter. There we go. That is perfect. Well, there's one switch installed. Now we've got one more to do. So, again, I'm going to move you guys back so we don't shake the table. And we're going to go ahead and just drill the hole here. Honestly, I don't think we really need to mark this one. I mean, I know exactly where I want it. So. Alright, there we go. Bring you guys back up close. And And there we go. So we are going to sweep off all of this. Grab our sandpaper just once more. Sand down the top of this hole. And then we're going to sand down also the bottom of the hole. And look at that. Now we're going to go ahead and take our toggle switch and insert it into the hole. So we got to take off the nut on it. Put this here on. There we go. Now we're going to take our pliers, hold it tight, just tighten it a little bit more. There we go. These are 6-pin 3-position toggle switches. So now we can finally convert each loop to DC or DCC. So I've really only been able to convert the, what was it? I believe the inside loop to DC, and that was with a very janky switch that I had wired up that I just found extra laying around. No shrink wrap or electrical tape, and it had shorted out the whole layout a few times. So I'm happy to finally have something nice that I'll solder onto. So yeah, the rest of it is just going to be boring soldering, not much to film. So I hope you guys enjoyed just seeing me at least do a little bit of work on this control panel, and I hope to be able to film more running sessions and whatnot with more varieties of trains now that I'll be able to run DC, because I have more DC trains, so I'll be able to run DC on both loops. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed just this quick little working session on the layout, and please like, subscribe, maybe drop a comment on what you think. I will show you guys one more little thing, but I'll also probably make a short on it. I've been making on some custom trees for my layout. So here's this. We'll get a little bit of a better view. There you go. Custom trees for the layout. We got some pine trees and some just normal trees for like my city. Yeah. There they are. Maybe leave a comment saying what you think of those. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe. I'll see you next time on The Red Empire.